Would you say you're like fully stabilized, or would you use like a different term, I
No,
guess?
I think stable's a good way to put it. And that was the goal for the first year, was just to get everything stabilized. We did a strategic plan early in the year. We did a lot of fundraising this year, and the community was incredibly generous, and I'm amazed by it, truly.
Talk to me about that strategic plan, and then I want to ask you about the fundraising.
Yeah, so really the strategic plan is just what's important to the organization. What should we be doing? And, of course, financial stability was number one, and then we're doing a facilities master plan on the Carnegie Library building, which the city owns. We signed a new 5-year lease with the city. We're looking at maybe the future being a updated historical museum, digitizing our archives, and just having great programming.
When did you renew that lease?
That was about a year ago.
That was about a year ago, and it's a 5-year lease, you said.
Yeah, 5-year lease. We have several extension options, and we're on the same page with the city. We all want that building to be a highlight to downtown. It's an incredibly beautiful building, and I would hope that the community will support us and the city in renovating the building over the next few years.
We'll get to that, but I want to ask you about the fundraising. Who have been the biggest supporters, you'd say, of the Historical Society over the last few months?
Yeah, so there's several foundations in town. I don't want to miss any of them, but of course the Fair Foundation is always just the best. I mean, whenever we've had a need and we've asked them, they have stepped up to the plate. And the Jarvis Foundation, the Fish Foundation, and then individuals, Tim and Michelle Brookshire, and many, many, many others have stepped up to help this organization when it was in need.
And you mentioned renovations for the Carnegie building. Talk to me about those a little bit.
Well, if you've been inside, it's a little tired. It's a beautiful building, but it needs updating. So we're doing a facilities master plan right now to find out what shape is the elevator in. Does it need new HVAC? How's the electrical, the plumbing, everything. And then we're going to be touring history museums this spring, seeing what other people are doing around the state of Texas, and then hopefully come back with a recommendation to our board for what the future is going to be of that building.
Where would you like to see the building go?
I really think an updated museum that's interactive, that keeps people's attention. These days everybody's got a phone that they can look at when they need attention, and so we've got to kind of look to the future. How can we tell our history of our county in a way that interacts with people and they leave our building going, man, that was a really cool experience. So we're going to take our time figuring out what that looks like. We've also got the Payne Auditorium upstairs. That's a beautiful space that's going to need to be updated so that we can have events, community events up there.
I know you mentioned that you're going to take some time to think about it, but any ideas that pop in your head as something that could, bring more people to the museum, that could spur that attention?
Yeah, not yet. We've looked at a couple of museums so far, and I think we'll just spend this spring really seeing what other people are doing and what's working, and then, we'll come back with a recommendation after that.
And you also mentioned the need for a printer. I know we were talking about that a bit earlier. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so if you've seen any historic photos around town, they probably came from the Smith County Historical Society. We've got an incredible digital archive of photographs from the entire history of Smith County. And so we sell those. That's one way we can make some money, and we sell them by printing them off on these large-scale printer. Well, the printer wore out about a year ago, and with our emphasis on stabilizing our budget, we have not wanted to put any money into that right now. But now that we're stable, what we're doing for National Giving Day, which is next Tuesday, from now till then, we're reaching out trying to get donations to get a new printer so that we can continue to print these beautiful pictures and display them all over the community.
And how much is that printer?
It's about $7,100.
You said you just got reelected as president to this. What inspires you to be a part of the Smith County Historical Society? Why is this important for you to take your time to be a part of?
Yeah. Well, I love history. I've always loved history. kind of got passed down through my family. And we have a long history in Smith County, and a lot of families do, and a lot of people do. And I'm very proud of Tyler and Smith County. It's a great place to live, to raise a family, and you can really make a mark here. It's not so big that you feel like you're not making a difference. So preserving all of this history in one organization, in one building, is just very important. We've got a great history to tell here.